everyone. Uh, Without wasting our time, already 2-3 minutes are over. We'll just start our session. Okay. So last class we just discussed how to convert a digital signal to digital signal, followed by uh, analog to digital data, right? So now the next thing is before going to the next particular conversion, that is from digital to analog, how to do that, we need to see one more topic called as transmission modes. How to transmit the data. Okay, it has been entered to your transmission medium. So in that particular medium, how the data should be traveling. Whether all the bits should be traveled with respect to the same particular link, or different links you need to have it. So for that, you require transmission modes. Normally, your transmission modes will be coming under two particular areas, under the two particular categories. Uh, One is called as parallel transmission, another one is called as serial transmission. The name itself suggests that what it is actually, right? So we'll just try to look into that particular topic with respect to your network, how it will be moving, okay, in the internet or in the network, how it will be moving. So normally in serial mode, they have given one particular simple example. In a parallel mode, multiple bits are sent with each block, with each clock tick. That means in a single time, multiple lines will be there. Each line will be carrying its own particular data. That is what your parallel is all about. Serial means one bit at a time, I can transmit it. In a one single clock, one single pulse, if you are just moving it, in that particular single pulse or single sinusoidal wave, if you are just generating it, in one single uh, time, I can transmit only one bit. Okay, so that's what it is. So one particular link, if it is existing, means that's more than enough. We'll just try to see how it will be done. Okay, so the next particular point. In the data transmission, we have two different modes. One is parallel and the one is serial. Under the parallel, there is no subcategories available, whereas in the serial, we have three different categories. Because in the serial mode of transmission, what happens is the transmission or the data can be arrived at that particular point of at the receiver end with a different time interval, or in the same one after the other in the during the same particular time interval, whatever you have just identified it, the same particular data may be received. That is, you call it as synchronous. Asynchronous means different, whatever you have assumed in the first time limit, that is T1, if you are sending a data, if it arrives after receiving your second time, second particular block of data, then it will be called as asynchronous. Mixture of synchronous and asynchronous is nothing but your third particular category, that is isochronous. Understanding it? So we'll just see one by one after the other. First thing is we need to check out what is this particular parallel transmission is all about. So in your parallel transmission, as we have already discussed with respect to the first slide of today, so that is sender and the receiver. Two particular parties will be there. Between this, you'll be having the transmission medium. So what you'll be having is this transmission medium can carry all the 8 bit of numbers or 8 particular different data at a time. It can be transmitted to the receiver. Then we'll say it parallel. Parallel means what? Concurrently, you are just working with it. During the same particular time duration, you are working with all the particular data bits. This is called as parallel transmission. 8 bits of data together need to be sent. So it can be sent in the parallel because all the particular bits will be having its own particular link. So 8 links will be generated here. So with respect to this 8 links, you are just transmitting the data. The duration of the time is 1 and the same. T seconds. Understanding it? In the same time duration, you are transmitting all the bits. This is what we call as parallel. Serial, you can easily imagine. So one bit at a time. Zero, if it is the first particular bit that you are transmitting, then you will be having only one link over here. Okay, you cannot go with having more links. You'll be having one link at a time. So with respect to that, you need to just transmit the data. One bit is there, one link is there. In that one link, only one data can be transmitted at a time. So that is called as serial transmission. In this particular serial transmission, at the sender and at the receiver, there are two different categories available. At the sender, what it will be doing is, it will be arranging all the bits in one particular block, and it will just wait. The once it reaches to your transmission medium, there it will be the serial mode of transmission will occur, not at the sender end, not at the receiver. So it will be just collecting all the data. It will be keeping a block of data at the sender part. Once it is done, it will be collecting simultaneously. It will be not collecting in different durations. That is what you call as parallel collection of data with respect to sender. And it need to be transmitted in the transmission medium as a serial transmission. Serial means one, it can be read. The best example I can give you is for your serial transmission and the parallel transmission is the working with respect to, all of you might have used this app by the name called as Bluetooth, right? Bluetooth transmission. Have you used it? Bluetooth? Bluetooth is just a technology used. So using that, if you are sharing any particular type of file, think that any application, I cannot remember. File sharing was there with respect to the previously available one. Before coming, you got explored with respect to ShareIt app. ShareIt app is nowadays everybody will use it. So the technology that ShareIt is using is Wi-Fi. Whereas with respect to your file sharing that we had previously was with respect to your Bluetooth technology. With respect to your Bluetooth, what happens is one bit at a time or one particular data at a time can be transmitted. Remaining all should be queued enough. Queuing is nothing but it should be lined up. That's what it says. Whereas with respect to your ShareIt, it is a different one. So how many particular files you have, each particular file will be having its own link. So one link will not be having any connection with respect to the rest of the files. So one file, it will be transmitted separately. Second file, it will be transmitted separately. Like that, it will be going. So the transmission that will be happening with respect to your ShareIt application is nothing but your parallel mode of transmission. Are you getting it? The file is one particular data. The whole data will be transmitted. The whole data while transmitting it. If you are using the different, suppose 1500 bytes, you want to transmit it. In that 1500 bytes, each bit will be carrying 8-bit length. So 8-bit is nothing but number of one particular byte it will be carrying. 1500 into 8 will be nothing but it will be number of bits that you will be having. Each bit will be having its own particular connection. That is the line or the link. So that is nothing but your parallel transmission. Whereas with respect to your in one among 1500 bytes, one byte only I can transmit it. In that one byte, one bit only I'm transmitting it. That is nothing but your serial transmission. The communication that happens with respect to Bluetooth technology is nothing but serial transmission example. I'm just giving an analogy. Understanding it? It's easy for us to understand. So that's why I'm just giving this example. Are you getting it? We're not touching how this ShareIt app works, definitely. But I'm just taking a bit of that particular ShareIt app. Using that, I'm just trying to explain your parallel and serial mode of transmission. Are you getting it? So this is how it will be just explored. Now, in the serial transmission, at the sender end and at the receiver end, what it will be doing is it will be just capturing the data and it will be collecting it at that particular end. So if you want some particular conversion, say for example, you are having 8 particular data bits to be transmitted. Those 8 bits, you are covering it in one particular single shot. You are collecting it. That means you have a parallel type of transmission getting ready over there. But unfortunately, our transmission medium, which I'm using it, that is Bluetooth or your Wi-Fi communication. So that particular thing, depending on that, all these things will be taken into consideration, right? So if I say that my transmission medium can understand only one bit can be transmitted in that particular area, that is what the bandwidth that I can support, one bit at a time, then I need to have a converter available at the center. What is the converter? Parallel to serial converter. Serial means it will be transmitting the bit one at a time. Nowadays, nobody is using this serial type of mode of transmission, but this will give you the, it takes a lot of time. First thing is, second thing is, with respect to the time, how to synchronize. Synchronization is a very huge problem with respect to your serial transmission. That will be within the time duration, within the stipulated time of time interval, how the number of bits need to be gathered over there. After gathering, how it need to be arranged. That is very important. If I say hi, if H is received at the later part before reaching H, if I receive I and followed by H, if I don't know how to assemble it, then there will be a big problem. So that is what it will be having. So I in that 8 bits is there. 8 bit each one separately I'll transmit it. If I just scramble that particular bit, it will be a different difficult or it will be a different letter that I'll be just arriving at. Understanding it? So it purely depends on our particular synchronization part. So very important thing is in the serial transmission, you need to be synchronized enough. Otherwise, it will be a problem. Okay. So with this, we'll just move on to the next slide. Yeah. In the same, okay. Next is with respect to your serial, there are two different operations. Normally, three different categories are available. One is synchronous, another one is asynchronous, another one is isochronous, right? So first one is they are saying it with respect to your asynchronous. In the asynchronous, it is hard for us to identify which bit or where it has been, in what way the data has been transmitted, how that particular thing transmission happens. So for this, what they will be doing is, and one more thing, with respect to your asynchronous transmission, you will be transmitting the data in the byte fashion. So that means bit, it will be just transmitted one after the other. Serial transmission will be there, but byte transmission, whenever you are going to happen at that time, you need to transmit one extra bit, sorry, two extra bit with respect to your asynchronous transmission, because I don't know the where the transmission starts, where it ends, where the data starts, where the data bit ends. If I say hi, hello, how are you, you will be trying to understand that particular sentence with respect to different words. How will you bifurcate it? Wherever a space is available in my particular statement, I'll be bifurcating that with respect to the words. Different words I'll just identify. With respect to this, how many words is that? Depending on each word, how many letters are there? What is H? What is I? We'll just try to analyze it, right? So same way in the asynchronous, I don't know if I just transmit, if I just try to transmit 100010. Okay, but according to our particular channel where our particular data is that, so it can transmit 3 bits at a time. Only 3 bits can be transmitted at a time. So for us, the data is 10010, but I have left a space. Why I'm leaving the space? Because I'm grouping it. 3 particular bits at a time, I can transmit it. Okay, understanding it. So these particular 3 bits, I need to separate it. So how I can separate that particular 3 bits? That is a big challenge in my particular area. So for this, what I'll do is, where it starts, no, I'll just add 1 bit called as 1. Where it ends, no, I'll just have zeros at the end. N number of zeros you can have it. Stop bits, there is nothing like you need to use 1 bit at a time. Okay. Sorry. Okay, this is the data bit. So your starting bit, they are saying that you need to use it as 0. And the ending bit, you can use n number of ones. Okay, so I just got in a different fashion. So it is all up to us assumption, but they are following. They have this particular thing written, by your IEEE chapter. So that's why we need to follow the same thing. So 0 is the starting bit and ending bit is 1. This is what they are saying. Yes, we'll just follow that same thing. Okay, no problem. So this is with respect to your asynchronous way. We'll just try to explore how this particular thing happens. Okay, asynchronous here means asynchronous at the byte level. That means one group of data. If you send hi, that hi will be transmitted. In that hi, IH will be transmitted serially. We're getting it? But the bits are still synchronized during their periods of transmission. This is how it will be transmitted. At the sender, you have a particular data bit. So starting bit is 0, stop bit is 1. N number of ones you can have it. And between each byte of data, there will be a gap. Why gap need to be available? That's what I said. If I just want to transmit it, I'll just take a small text. So okay, this is where the gap is very important. If I say it's hard for us to identify where it will be just going on. Okay. Okay. One more thing, I'll just give it. Okay. This is just an example. I'm just posting it. Why gaps are needed. Okay. Um, Commit editors for transferring a bit or something like that. So I'm just giving a small example. Now, commit editors for, I'll just etc. etc. Now, the thing is, whether it is needed to be addressed with commit to be separate, editors to be separate, or committed. We have a word called as committed also, right? Big confusion. So this, just to avoid it, we require gaps. Now are you getting this? So why you need to have gaps over there? Just because of identifying this. Okay. So one thing is, okay, one more question. In the real world, it may be the last bit may be the one itself. If you suppose, don't transmit the last bit as, or if you don't if you just cancel it, or if you don't have the stop bit itself, then what happens? It's as good as you have a code. You have a code written in your C language. In that, one block of code is that is nothing but in your if statement or in your switch statement or anything. So you have opened the flower braces. Code opening is that, but code closing is not there. How it will be accepted? So just because of it, what they have done is they have asked you to add 2 more bits with respect to the actual data. Suppose you have 8-bit length means 8 bits along with the 2 bits. So totally 10 bits of data you need to transmit in that particular thing. Only for your asynchronous transmission. Okay, only for your asynchronous transmission. This is how it will be working. So next, with respect to your synchronous. In the synchronous transmission, we send bits one after the other. See, it is very simple. Synchronous means one bit after the other, I will be transmitting it. So it is bit by bit, not byte by byte. So it is easy for us. Whenever it comes with respect to byte, it will be asynchronous. Whenever it comes with respect to bit, it will be synchronous. Keep this in your head. Okay. So this is one more bifurcation that you need to have. After this, in the synchronous way, if you are transmitting it, means no need to transmit the extra bits, 0 or 1, because it is easy for us. One after the other, one bit after the other, it will be transmitting. It is the job of the receiver to arrange it in a proper manner. That means the grouping should be done by at the receiving end. Okay, sender will not be bothered about it. Are you getting it? See here. What is this frame? Frame is again the data. In that particular data, it will not be sending one particular kind of data itself. It may be a sentence, mixture of words, or something like that. Each word is nothing but your packet. If you combine that particular words into a statement, then it will be nothing but your frame. So that's what it says. Are you getting it? So just think about your window frames that is available in your house, at your home, or else at any construction building, right? So the same thing. Frames are nothing but it will be not having one particular way. So multiple things. To that, you are just fixing a block. That is nothing but your frames. So many packets will form a frame. Okay. So like that, you'll be just going to deal with it. Yeah. That's all with respect to this particular. Now, what about the isochronous? What is isochronous? Isochronous is combination of both the things. Isochronous is combination of both the particular transmission modes that we have seen it with respect to your serial mode of transmission. That is synchronous as well as asynchronous. Asynchronous with respect to byte level, with respect to bit level, synchronous. The best example that I can give you here with respect to your isochronous is with respect to the audio and video transmission of data, both simultaneously I need to have it, just like what we are facing it right now. Suppose due to the low bandwidth, my voice is reached after my screen gets paused. Now it is paused. Don't worry, I have paused the screen. So purposefully I have paused it. Now there will be a little amount of delay without a particular video. If I ask everybody to start their video as well as their microphones on once, then lot of delay will be existing because lot of people will be talking, lot of background noises will be there. Anything it can be, right? How to get synchronized with respect to it? Now I need to admit it. That means which one should be transmitted first? Okay, with respect to the video, whether the video should be moving faster. With respect to that, how the particular voice need to be synchronized. That will be nothing but your isochronous way of transmitting. Understanding? So it happens with respect to your TV channels or TV mode of transmission, or else video, audio, wherever it comes at that particular point of time, you can just have uh, isochronous mode of transmission. That ends your second part of your second module. Last part is left out, that is analog to, sorry, analog to digital is over, right? We need to just concentrate with respect to the last part. Analog to analog transmission is left out, and digital to analog transmission is left out. So those two things we'll just try to check it out. Is the screen visible now for all of you? Oh, wait a minute. Is it visible now? Digital to analog conversion. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Digital to analog conversion. What is this all about? So that's what I said. It's based on 4 different components. With respect to your digital data, how to convert it to digital signal. That's what we saw with respect to the first particular technology, first particular terminology. That is with respect to your line coding technique. Second one was analog to digital. You have an analog signal as an input. From that, you need to convert it to a digital data bits. How to convert it? Using the PCM technique, pulse code modulation technique. That's what we saw in the second particular combination. In that pulse code modulation, there was one more topic attached to it. That's what we saw with respect to our first particular part, that is transmission modes. The next part is digital to analog conversion. That means digital signal is that analog data you need to have it, or analog signal you need to convert it. Analog data, that is continuously data you need to have it. If you plot it, then it becomes the analog signal. So digital to analog conversion is the process of changing one of the characteristic of an analog signal based on the information in digital data. That means digital data will be given. Based on the digital data, you are performing the analog conversion or analog way. That we have seen it with respect to one particular simple PCM decoder. And able to imagine that with respect to your low pass filter, what you will be doing is you'll be just plotting that particular data, whatever you have arrived with respect to one particular line coding technique. Using that, you'll be just plotting that particular graph, digital signal. Using the digital signal, you will be just marking it with respect to where it goes from highest to lowest mark. You'll just mark that particular points. You'll be just writing a smooth curve from it. So that becomes, that will be nothing but your analog signal. Same conversion. How it can be made? They have different techniques to you can involve in converting your digital data to analog signal. For that, the very simple thing that we are assuming is amplitude shift keying. That is, with respect to your amplitude, that is highest amplitude is there, right? You change those particular amplitude levels. Peak to peak level, you just change it with respect to the data that you are transferring. That is one way of doing it. Second thing is, with respect to your frequency shift keying. That means the number of frequencies that your sine wave will be occurring with respect to wherever the data is available, you just add that particular frequency to the highest. Suppose f is that, make it as 2f, or make it as 3f. That's all, or f maximum. Understanding it. So whereas with respect to phase shift keying, wherever the data comes with respect to you, if the data need to be available with respect to one particular bit, you just use one type of phase shifting. That is, it may start from 0 at the beginning. Now, the second amount of data bit, if there is a change in the data, then you go with the different order of the phase. Instead of starting from 0, you start it from 180. That's what. That is a phase shift that you can manage. The last one is quadrature amplitude modulation, which is not there according to your syllabus. We'll just touch that particular topic. What is this quadrature amplitude modulation technique? Okay, so that's all with respect to this particular first slide. We'll just move on to the next one. So this is how it will be happening. That's what they are giving it. Digital to analog conversion. That means digital data is there. Your transmission medium can support only analog signals to be transmitted. How it will be transmitted? If 0 is that, then it will start from the 0 level and you will be having it. If 1 comes means the amplitude level changes. If 0 comes means it will be lying in the same particular data. Like this, your particular data will be transmitted. Understanding it? This is amplitude shift key. So once you will be having this particular analog signal will be coming with respect to the receiver, and you require the conversion back. That is analog to digital conversion. For that, demodulator you'll be having. Here PCM, you can just imagine. Here you can be having with respect to your modulator, you'll be having that particular amplitude shift keying or frequency or anything. Okay, so we'll just see one by one. So your digital to analog conversion, whenever you will be happening, digital data, analog signal. That's what it says. With respect to this, 3 different modules will be having it. One is called as amplitude, change in the amplitude. Another one is change in the frequency of that particular wave. So you may have large frequency or small minimum frequency. It purely depends on our assumption. The same assumption should also be available at the receiver end also. Otherwise, not. Okay. Today, if I just imagine 12:30, I need to have a class. Although my class is that, if I just started imagining it, if nobody knows about that, then what will be the case? One simple incident I'll just tell you. So I think not last week, before that week, that is during our second week of lockdown. So Monday there was a holiday. I just scheduled a class during that particular time. As soon as I scheduled a particular meeting saying that 12:30 you have a class, one message I got it. Personally, I got a message. From whom? Don't worry. That is not at all important. The important here is once I send a particular message saying that today, I didn't send that today is a holiday, so you need to just come in. So I just sent a particular message saying that 12:30 you need to log in, but that day is a holiday. So suddenly I got a message saying that, sir, today is a holiday. Although it is a holiday, I scheduled it for a special class. That's what I said. So these things will be that. That means even though I don't know anything about it, I can just imagine with respect to it. So whenever the data comes, I'll be changing it with accordingly. So that is your frequency. Last one is phase. That is phase with respect to that. So three components are there with respect to your sinusoidal wave. That is what I require to generate it, analog signal. So sinusoidal wave. In that, three different variations I'll be having. One is amplitude, that is nothing but your peak to peak. The second one is the availability of the sinusoidal wave during one particular time duration. So phases, different areas, I'll be just converting. Instead of starting from the 0, I can start it from 90, 180, 360 or something. 360, 0, we cannot imagine. Both resides in the same particular bed. So it is hard for us to identify whether it is the 360 or 0. Both will be lying in the same place. That's why we call it as oversampling. Understanding it now? We'll just check it out with respect to the next slide. What is that? This is just a brief introduction or brief recall of what is called as bit rate and what is baud rate. What is bit rate? Bit rate is nothing but based on the number of bits that you can transmit in a second. Per second, how many bits you can transmit. How many signal elements that you have in 1 second is called as baud rate. Signal rate is nothing but baud rate. Number of bits that you have to transmit is nothing but your bit rate. In the analog transmission of digital data, you need to underline this particular sentence because this is very important to know. In an analog transmission, the transmission mode is in the analog, right? Analog signals. In the analog transmission of digital data, you're transmitting in the analog way. So at that particular point of time, the signal rate is less than or equal to the bit rate. Whatever the signal elements that you will be having, that may be less than or equal to the bit rate. One signal element, one bit. That may be the case. The meaning of the statement is suppose I want to transmit one data. Thus, you will be having one signal elements. Okay. In the other sense, don't worry about this vertical lines. Only worry about the horizontal. Horizontal line indicates baud rate is less than or equal to. Less than or equal to means it should be equal to this, or else it should be completely less than that particular element. Suppose we have one more data element. Now I need to transmit the data as 0, 0. Understanding it? So 0, 1, 0. It will be having how many bits are there? 3 bits. So the signal element that you need to use it as less than this or equal to this. That means 3 levels you can have it, 3 signal levels you can have it, or else you can just end up saying that it is only 2 levels. understanding it. So that means if you are using this particular bit, this is one way. Or else, or else your biphase mode is not at all considered